India prepared to tackle high-tech terror. Decoding India's drone nightmare. Terror from the skies.
There's breaking news just coming in on the Jammu drone attack probe. Initial probe has hinted at Lashkar role, says Jammu and Kashmir Police Chief. Lashkar role has been suspected. That is the DG Dilbagh Singh speaking about it. It's a big development as far as the Jammu drone case is concerned. And the latest coming in at the moment, as we're reporting right now, is about the initial probe that is at the moment pointing fingers and hinting at Lashkar-e-Taiba's role in the multiple drone attacks that one has seen in the valley in Jammu and Kashmir. This is what the initial probe information has been revealed by the Jammu and Kashmir Police Chief at the moment, that Lashkar-e-Taiba's role has been suspected. DG Dilbagh Singh has mentioned this. We're bringing you the latest as far as the story is concerned. Our reporters will be joining us in just about a bit for more on the story. Kamaljeet Sandhu now joins us. Kamaljeet, as far as the Home Ministry is concerned, what else are you picking up? At the moment, there is a lot of hints that are coming towards Lashkar-e-Taiba's role in this particular drone attack. What next, and what more do we know in terms of the initial probe report?
See, as far as Home Ministry is concerned, they have handed over the probe to the NIA.
Yeah.
Now, what we've been speaking to our sources and what has been indicated by the DG Dilbagh Singh is the role of Lashkar-e-Taiba is suspected in this drone attack. Now, one has to also have a look. We've been told that the ID, which was recovered on the same day from Jammu, was attributed, and one person was arrested that time. Was also from Lashkar-e-Taiba,
okay.
Saying there are leads which are coming in that this terror group is behind this dastardly attack, which is a drone attack. But yes, once multiple agencies further probe whether this was assembled within Jammu city or whether it came from 14 kilometers away from the border area, may very much, because this is a professional job and many attribute that this cannot be done simply by terror group or its handlers. It is a professional hand, and ISI role and Pakistani army role cannot be ruled out. But once the evidence is on the table, and remember, we're still awaiting forensic report where RDX can either be, which has been suspected now to be used in the dual attack which happened inside the Air Force station in Jammu. That now needs to be confirmed. So we are awaiting that result as well. But yes, terror group behind this particular attack is the first confirmation coming in from DG Dilbagh Singh, the role being suspected. And yes, multiple agencies simultaneously, we've been told that two top commanders have been eliminated in Parampura encounter in Srinagar. One of them is a Pakistani terrorist. So all clear indications that Pakistan now is escalating its terror tentacles in Jammu and Kashmir in the wake of impending elections in Jammu and Kashmir, and obviously after the FATF threat to them, and they continue to be in the grey list. Pakistan has upped the ante and has started not only terror attacks in Kashmir Valley, but also in Jammu, where they have done drone attacks for the first time.
Yes, absolutely. Kamaljeet, we're going to keep coming back to you for more on this. This is a very important story, and our top focus at the moment, initial probe is suggesting Lashkar-e-Taiba's involvement, and very importantly, as Kamaljeet mentioned, there was suspected RDX that was used, and RDX is not available in India. It is being used, it is being sourced by terrorists from Pakistan, and the angle of Pakistan's involvement is something that is also being probed, and I at the moment on top of this particular investigation. The drone terror continues to be in Jammu, 3 days and 5 drones, and in the latest security scare, another drone has been spotted in Jammu now. The drone was spotted at Ratnuchak as well as from Kunjwani military base in the early hours of Tuesday. The drone was first spotted at 1:08 a.m. at Ratnuchak and then again appeared at 3:09 a.m. and 4:19 a.m. in Kunjwani. It is now being investigated whether 2 different drones were spotted or was it a single drone spotted from 2 different locations. This is coming as 2 drones were spotted in the wee hours of Monday, and an alert Army Jawan fired, fired 20 to 30 rounds on the drones, thwarting a major threat. Meanwhile, in the Jammu Air Base attack, the probe has been handed over to the National Investigation Agency that has been on the ground collecting evidence. The Central Anti-Terror Agency is expected to lodge a case to begin the probe officially now. Preliminary investigation is suggesting that the payload that has been carried by 2 drones indicates a cocktail of chemicals, including RDX, that may have been used. Remember, RDX, as I mentioned earlier, is not available in India, and it is sourced from Pakistan by terrorists. It is suspected that a trained hand of the ISI or the Pakistani army could have perpetrated this attack. Delhi Police's anti-terror team has also left for Jammu to probe this incident.
Now, this is a new type of warfare because Pakistan is known as the home of terror. It is now possibly, it has already been dropping arms all over in Punjab. Now it is using its drones because partnership is with China. China has one of the cheapest and the best small drones in the world. They showed it at the IDEX exhibition. Therefore, it's a new type of warfare. The Houthis, a small Yemeni group, attacked Saudi Arabia's refinery, put it out of action. And Americans killed Husseini, an Iranian in Iraq, pinpoint. So therefore, a new type of warfare which doesn't have easy defense is come to India.
Here also in the VRs today at the military camp, which is located on Jammu Pathankot highway, there was a drone which was spotted, but so far nothing has been traced. No traces of that drone has been found by the security agencies. Intense search operation is already on, and there is deployment of forces also. So the security agencies so far are tight-lipped about the incident that took place in the VRs today. But what we are learning is that drone has been spotted at 3 places, at 3 defense installations. NIA team has arrived in Jammu to probe the airbase case, and probe is being widened. Already it's being treated as a terror incident. A case under the anti-terror law, UAPA, has been registered at the Satwari police station. And what we are learning from our sources in the defense establishment is that they are reviewing the security at air bases, at important military installations. With video journalist Neeraj Kumar, this is Sunil Bhatt reporting from Kunjwani for India Today.
Defence Minister Rajnath Singh is going to be briefed on the series of drone threats in Jammu today. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh is going to be meeting a team of top officials from the Air Force and Army along with other defence officials to brief the Minister on the Jammu airbase drone strike. Chief of Defence Staff General Bipin Rawat, Army Chief General Manoj Mukund Naravane and Air Force Chief Air Chief Marshal R.K.S. Bhaduria are also likely to be present in the presentation. Rajnath Singh is also going to be meeting Prime Minister Modi today at 4 p.m. While the agenda is still not clear, the meeting assumes significance in the light of the drone threat in the valley. The Defence Minister has been constantly monitoring the situation from Ladakh, where he was for the last 3 days as a part of the review of operational preparedness on the forward locations with China. He was briefed by the Vice Chief of Air Staff earlier and has been constantly been updated by the Air Force on this particular matter. Abhishek Bhalla is now joining us live. Abhishek, we were discussing this earlier as well. The agenda of this particular meeting is not clear, but this meeting is coming amidst the drone terror in the valley, and there would be some discussion on this given the Defence Minister is meeting the Prime Minister today at 4 p.m.
Well, Chaiti, the agenda is certainly not clear, but you know, one thing is very clear that the Defence Minister is returning from Ladakh, and one of the subjects that will be discussed is his visit. You know, he was given a briefing by ground commanders. This was his first visit to Ladakh since the initial disengagement at Pangong Lake. The situation in other friction areas still remains, you know, tense. Things have not really panned out the way it was expected after that initial disengagement. We are far from seeing a de-escalation in any of the areas, and certainly a de-induction of troops is nowhere on the cards as of now. So the situation in Ladakh could be one of the focus areas of this meeting. Other than this, the Defence Minister will be briefed by the top brass of the armed forces on the drone attack at the Jammu air base a few days back. So all these things put together could be taken up for discussion.
Leave it at that. Thanks, Abhishek, for joining us with the latest details. The day after 2 explosive-laden drones crashed into the high-security Jammu base, India has dragged Pakistan to the United Nations now, bringing global shame to Islamabad. India has told the UN General Assembly that the possibility of the use of weaponized drones for terrorist activities against strategic and commercial assets calls for serious attention by the global community. Speaking at the UNGA, Indian official has said that the use of the drones add to the existing worries and emerging trends due to terrorism for the new decade. He's further said that being a low-cost option and its easy availability, utilization of these drones for intelligence collection, delivery of weapon or explosives have become an imminent danger and challenge for the security agencies. This is the first time that drone-mounted IEDs have been used in India to target an IF base. But drones give terrorists and their sponsors a major edge. Plausible deniability, standoff attack, low radar signature, virtually impossible to detect. Terrorists have used drones in Syria, Iraq and Saudi Arabia, but now there is clear and present danger even in India. My colleagues Shiv Arur and Abhishek Bhalla get us more on this story.
Tiny little carriers of terror, with nothing but the wind beneath their little rotors. They've signaled a new nightmare for Indian security. We've long been in the age of military drones, but it's the most simple of these unmanned air machines. Tiny little hobby quadcopters that are now the compellers of India's sleepless nights. The monster question: can India stop mini drone warfare, or are we doomed to be overwhelmed? The bad news first. There's no blanket solution, and the literally miniature size of the threat means there's never going to be 100% defense against it. A comprehensive approach is going to be necessary. First things first, traditional air defense radars at our military stations and airports are programmed for large targets like aircraft, helicopters, and bigger drones. If they're calibrated to detect small hobby drones, even birds would set off radar alarms, overwhelming the system and causing chaos and confusion. Apart from sanitization of areas around sensitive installations, specialized equipment does exist to counter drones in flight. But these again are hit or miss, with no guarantee of full protection. As you can imagine, the Indian Air Force and Bureau of Civil Aviation are scrambling to address the threat to installations. Most technologies, including anti-drone jammers and systems, are deployed in the terminal stage of a rogue drone's flight path, the last 100 meters or so, when there's very little reaction time. It would therefore be hard for a defense system to precisely identify a rogue drone's vulnerabilities and then deploy countermeasures. India's own DRDO says that its anti-drone device can bring down micro-drones at a distance of up to 3 kilometers and use lasers to target them from distances of over 1 kilometer away. Another security force operating under the Home Ministry recently imported a high-powered electromagnetic system, which zaps drones with an electromagnetic pulse, causing them to crash. But these systems could not be deployed at airports because of the risk to incoming aircraft. So you begin to see the complications in anti-drone defense. The outlook remains unfortunately bleak. Many existing countermeasures will be powerless against a swarm attack, a pack of drones flying into their targets from multiple directions. The next big scare began in Jammu, for which there are few answers yet. With Sandeep Unithan in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
Terrorists using a drone in India marks a paradigm shift in India's war on terror. Now protecting vital assets and points is not about directing high perimeter wars and sentry posts. The clear and present danger is from the skies. The threat is not restricted to military convoys or camps in Jammu and Kashmir, but spread almost across the country. Cricket stadiums, malls, markets, temples, the stock exchanges. And protecting every vital asset, a point, is easier said than done. Take a look.
You've been watching the news of the mini drone attacks in Jammu. Dinky little plastic drones triggering a state of high alert. Bits of plastic, sparking fear and terror in an age of high-tech warfare. But you're probably also thinking, can't India also conduct mini drone strikes? The simple theoretical answer is yes. Converting a hobby drone into a grenade carrier isn't a complicated task and can be done at low cost without much effort. These silent killers are hard to detect and neutralize in time and can be used to wage war with plausible deniability. But if your question is whether India conducts such mini drone strikes already, well, that's where things begin to blur. Let's tell you what we know for sure. For starters, like we said, rigging an IED or grenade to a drone isn't difficult. Several medium performance hobby drones can easily be integrated for such tasks. Second, Indian forces have been scouting mini drones purpose-built for such strikes, like the Israeli Firefly seen in these pictures, a helicopter-style mini drone packing a sensor and warhead basically used by infantry teams to hunt down, pinpoint and attack kamikaze style. These devastating drones have recently been ordered by the Israeli Defense Forces and could soon find a place with Indian infantry teams. And finally, Indian drone companies, which already supply high-quality drones to the Indian military, are looking to offer armed varieties of their quadcopters, giving the military the option of purchasing specialized, tiny hunter-killers.
There are multiple things shift. So there are various category of armed drones that will be required, and there are reports that a significantly large number is going to be required. However, as a company, IdeaForge is probably not going to look at arming them ourselves. At the very best, we may look at partnering with people who want to, put such payload. Now, whether do we have payload capability or not, we do have payload capability on some of our systems. However, we are probably only looking at partnerships in that domain. So we're going to be exploring this via partners.
The utility of drone attacks like these is they're difficult to trace back and provide a compelling low investment effect on the adversary. Whether India will deploy such tactics remains to be seen. Bureau Report, India Today.
On Sunday, it was the Air Force Station. Tomorrow, it can be a military convoy or a crowded cricket stadium or a mall or a cinema hall. Terrorists can use a drone-mounted improvised explosive device to cause mayhem even on non-military targets. What are India's options then? There is technology available to jam signals or laser beams to destroy the drone in the air, but can every vital asset, every vital point, every building, every train, aircrafts, convoys be protected? What does India really need to do? Here's a look.
First, the Jammu Air Station, and then the Kaluchak Military Station. Both just kilometers from the international border, where the sponsors of such attacks are likely situated. But the tiny range of such drones makes it likely that while they were handled from across, they were piloted from Indian territory for sure. So you're probably wondering in that case, are such drone attacks a threat only in our border areas, or could they hit our cities as well? The straight answer is yes, cities are most definitely vulnerable to mini drone warfare. Think about it. Terrorist sleeper cells and bomb-making units can easily access drones and explosive materials. And such tactics could be used to hit crowded areas in our cities anywhere. How to stop bomber drones, for instance, from crashing into crowds at the Kumbh Mela or flying directly into a VVIP enclosure at an important public event? Unlike open spaces around military stations, detecting drones would be even more difficult in a built-up urban environment. India's national capital, for instance, has recognized the drone threat for years. Task forces appointed by the Delhi Police and Civil Aviation departments have been identifying lists of sensitive installations in Delhi that need anti-drone protection and have been drawing up a standard operating procedure for law enforcement agencies on what to do in the event of a rogue strike in the national capital. India's Republic Day parade in January 2018 was among the first public events where security forces were specifically equipped with radars and anti-aircraft guns to counter rogue drones. Crowded tourist destinations of India are also on alert to the drone threat. The Goa police have developed and deployed a system to track and identify rogue drones, especially over crowded areas, using radio frequency scanner technology. As the implications of the Jammu drone attack sink in, such efforts in the country will be sharpened and accelerated across our cities as well. There isn't a moment to lose. Bureau Report, India Today.
That's a wrap from me, Chaitanya Narula, on the special show Terror from the Skies. For further news and updates, don't forget to log on to indiatoday.in, or you can also download our app.